Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon. I'm back. Today I'm going to bring you guys a review for Mr. Sinister. So Mr. Sinister, as I'm sure a lot of you know, is going to be made farmable real soon in the Alliance War store. Very exciting because I think he's an incredible character and I wanted to talk about in today's video. So he goes with the Marauders team. Let me show you what this team looks like right here before we get into the character himself. So the Marauders took Mystique and Sabretooth from the Brotherhood team. Blob and Toad took their place. Now Mystique and Sabretooth run on the Marauders team. Strife hangs out with them too. And then you're sort of left with this mysterious fifth slot. Someday this may be filled with a character. I think maybe a legendary character. I think some of us are thinking we might get as a fifth Marauder. You know, there's a lot of different ideas about who could go here for the Marauders team. Currently, you sort of just put whoever you want there. There's a couple of different ideas. You could put one of the mercenaries on there. You know, Kingpin isn't a bad character to go there. A lot of different characters can go here. So that's the team he runs with, but let's just talk about Mr. Sinister by himself. So Mr. Sinister is a support character, but really he's so much more than a support character. He doesn't just heal the team. He's kind of crazy. I'd argue he could be potentially one of the best characters in the game, you know, mechanically speaking. You know, technically Phoenix, Black Bolt, they're just strong. They have incredibly impressive amounts of damage output, but what Mr. Sinister can do is so impressive with this clone ability, and we'll get there when we get there. So let's start out with his basic attack. Nothing too crazy here. It's not bad. He's dealing a hefty amount of damage, plus he's gaining assist and he's dealing more damage per Marauder ally. So this is just a hefty basic attack right here, pretty strong, but you know, not why you're putting him on the team. If we look at his special gene therapy, he heals the team for a hefty amount, percentage of his max health, and this will go up because I don't have it unlocked right now. So this is really strong right here. A ton of healing going out to the team, percentage based healing, always great. Plus he gets to spread positive effects to all of his allies essentially, and he gets to clear heal block. Plus as you upgrade it, he'll get to apply offense up and all kinds of other stuff. So it's just really good. And what's really cool is Mystique has a lot of stuff in her kit where she gives herself positive effects by stealing them, and now when you use this skill, Mystique will give them to Mr. Sinister, and then Mr. Sinister can spread them to the whole team. So again, this is a very impressive skill right here. Does a lot of good stuff, buffs your team and removes debuffs from them and heals them. So this is just an excellent supporting skill right here, really good. But the best thing about him is this skill right here, Clone. So as you're going to see in some of this kit, there's a bunch of war defense gimmicks. This team is designed for war defense, so you know, specific to this type of Alliance War, kind of a boohoo moment. But this is still a really strong skill when you're not in Alliance War defense. So essentially, all this stuff for the leveling up the skill, this just means the level of the skills on the clone are going to be equivalent to the level of this skill on Mr. Sinister. And he's gonna clone an enemy, and then they scale with his stats, like Mr. Sinister's stats. So the more red stars you have on Mr. Sinister, my understanding is the more red stars this clone would have. So the stronger your Mr. Sinister is, the stronger the clone becomes. So any investment you put in Mr. Sinister technically is like ×2, because he's gonna get a clone, and then they're gonna share the stats with him. Plus he's giving defense up to this clone and ability energy. So this is just a really strong skill right here, simply for the fact that you can turn a fight into a 6v5, which is very strong. You know, that wouldn't be so strong if it was the Sinister 6, because the Sinister 6 are kind of a snooze fest. They're kind of not that great, but for a character like Mr. Sinister, the Marauders, which are already a pretty competent team, turning something into a 6v5 is kind of crazy, especially if you're able to capture characters like Phoenix or Minerva. You know, you can really shift the momentum of the battle by capturing a Minerva or something like that, and just flat out stealing 15% of the enemy's max health just because you captured a Minerva. Plus you can revive your allies with Minerva, so there's all kinds of crazy potential with that clone. Mr. Sinister, that's really why you're putting him on the team. That clone is an incredible skill, super duper strong right there. The fact that you can clone characters. His passive, not bad. He gets to a bonus ability energy when he spawns in. So essentially this means you know, he can get off that clone ASAP. Some other stuff he has in his kit, he gets like a ton of stuff here. And again, this is base level, so it's going to get better as you upgrade this more and more. But essentially he's healing people on his turn. He's also distributing some health if he's at a certain percentage of his own health, and then he's giving a bunch of bonus stats to the Marauders team, giving some more bonus stats to them if it's on more defense. And again, this upgrades higher and higher to give you more little effects that you're passing off to the whole team. So Mr. Sinister is a crazy good character. He is basic attack, a hefty amount of damage coming out from his basic attack right here. His special, spreading all kinds of positive effects, really supporting the team, healing for a decent chunk of health, cloning, literally mind-blowing, like unheard of in this game, turning a fight into a 6v5. We have people who summon in minions, but there are people like Yondu, like who cares about Ravage or Bruise or hopping in on the battle or something like that. We're talking like a full-fledged character hopping in on the battle here, so that's crazy. And this passive, he gives a ton of stuff to the Marauders. So Mr. Sinister is a really strong character, and he's somebody you definitely want to be keeping your eye on for in the War Store. I don't think he's out in the War Store yet. I think a lot of people are assuming he'll come out with the next update to the War Store, but I'd start saving up your war credits right now, so that way you can start picking up Mr. Sinister as soon as the update hits, because he's a really good character, and I'd assume most of us probably have the Marauders unlocked. The rest of them are pretty easy farms right now. If you take a look, Mystique and Sabretooth is a raid character, I believe. Mystique, it has a node in the campaign, so they're pretty easy characters to farm. Like, you'll just get these shards without even trying to. And Strife is a blitz character, so you'll get his shards without even trying to. So Mr. Sinister is really the only hard character to farm on the Marauders team, and even then, he's just gonna be so good, he's worth the investment. So that being said, let me know what you think about Mr. Sinister down below. I think he's a super good character, and if you have Mr. Sinister, let me know what your favorite character to clone is. And at the end of the day, what do I really know, because I am only an 18-year-old. I hope everyone can have a happy and healthy day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Signing off, everyone.